Welcome back. Today I am sharing a realistic evening routine and all the ways that I have simplified and slowed down our evenings to make them more enjoyable. So let's just jump in to where the evening starts, in my opinion. I usually wrap up my workday around 4:30 to 5 p.m., come out of my office and look around to see what needs to get done, with the goal of having a relaxed, slow evening and not feeling rushed or stressed out. Back when my two older sons were very young, I used to feel as if I needed to get a million things done each night. I would run from task to task trying to get everything done in the house, make every room completely tidy, and I no longer do that. I think it's more important to be relaxed in the evening, get done what you can, but not feel stressed out. So, my whole goal every evening is to just focus on the obvious things that need to get done. I had a little bit more time this night, so I decided to pick one thing to do. So that's something that I usually try is if I have the time, I will work on one or two things that would help improve the house that night and get us started on the right foot the next day. So that was vacuuming on this night. I saw that there were quite a few crumbs and things on the floor, got the vacuum out, and whenever I get the vacuum out, I think it's pretty simple to just get as much vacuuming done as possible. So you can see here, I'm sticking to the really high traffic areas like the living room. I'm going to vacuum the hall and my boys' room a little bit. I'm also turning on all of our lamps. So I have learned over the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, that I really enjoy a cozy atmosphere at night. And for me, that is turning on all the lamps and having a warm, cozy glow throughout our house, and then turning off all the harsh overhead lighting. Don't let this quiet voiceover fool you though, because while I do like a calm evening, it can only be so quiet and calm when I have 3 kids running, screaming, playing, and making all kinds of noise. I've had to accept that with kids, there is rarely a perfectly serene, quiet moment, especially in the evenings. So, what I'm trying to get at is I have just dropped all expectations for the kids to act a certain way or do certain things. Some nights are better than others, and some nights are extremely chaotic and wild, screaming, running, and playing. That is okay. And I personally have had to accept that. That is how it is with kids. I grew up in a very quiet atmosphere, and so I'm not used to that. But my husband said that that is completely normal. He has a brother, and he said that screaming and running and just playing, noise, that is very normal when it comes to kids. But it's something that I had to adjust to. Another thing I like to do all throughout the day is laundry. Whenever I have a spare moment and I see that we have a full basket of laundry, I will throw a load in with the hopes that by the end of the night, I will have completed at least 1 or 2 loads, depending on how much we needed to do. So that's what I'm doing here. I've just pulled out the clothes. And one tip I have, if you have kids and you don't really care about folding clothes, I just separate them and, I kind of fold them, but not really. I separate them and I go and just stick them in their drawers. I no longer do KonMari folding or anything crazy like that. Again, just dropping those expectations that I used to put on myself to be perfect and accepting what I can actually do. Now that the laundry is done and the house is tidied up a little bit, I am jumping in to making dinner. One thing that has really helped me to simplify dinner is every other night I make a dinner and then the next night we eat the leftovers. So I always try to prepare more than just the one meal that we would eat. If I'm going to cook up tofu, I'll cook up 2 things of tofu. Here I'm making tempeh and I decided to cook up 2 packages of tempeh. So then we will have leftovers the next night or maybe for lunch the next day. So this is a really good way to simplify your dinners if you're looking to do that. Because now you're not having to cook every single night of the week, or maybe you're just not having to cook as much. So on this night, we are making the tempeh. What I do is I just add some barbecue sauce to it, some soy sauce. I put it in the oven 15 minutes on each side and it's done. This is a great thing to add to salads, or you can put it in a tortilla. Really, it can be put with anything. Then I decided to make some asparagus. So I got a huge bag of asparagus from Costco. And again, I cooked up the entire bag. So then the next night we could have leftover asparagus or the next day. And I'm also cooking up broccoli. I usually make broccoli every single night because my kids like broccoli. That's the one vegetable that they enjoy. And I just steam up the broccoli. So I have one of those metal steamers. I put it into the bottom of a pot with some water and I steam up the broccoli. Now, the one thing that I learned here with the asparagus is I probably should have cooked it for way less time than I actually did. I think I put it in for like 10 minutes where I should have just had it cooking for about 4 minutes because it was a little bit overcooked. But we live and learn. So I hadn't made asparagus in a long time and I thought I would just wing it. And from now on, I'm going to be looking up exact times. But this is a very typical meal for us, is just some vegetables and a protein of some kind. I'm also now changing into some comfortable clothes. I usually do this. I didn't change my shirt just because I wanted to just get on with the night. But usually if I'm not filming, I will change my clothes kind of early into the evening. It's just one way to relax a little bit more, for me to relax. So here you can see the asparagus. And we were also eating some leftovers from the night before as well. So I had some leftover chili and noodles as a side, then with the asparagus, the broccoli, and the tempeh. It was delicious. I really loved eating this. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, I can make that again. But this was good. Another thing that I no longer stress about is making everybody sit down at the same moment and eat at the same time. Yes, that's always the goal. But if my kids are hungry before Grant and I are hungry, I think it's fine for them to eat ahead of time. I think it's okay if they want to eat something different. I just do not stress about this anymore. I used to overthink this and worry about it. And I don't anymore. And now my life is a lot more simple, a lot more relaxed. And I just realized that it's okay. We don't have to follow everybody else's rules that are out there. Now I'm heading back into the kitchen to clean the dishes. And usually every night I have a helper. Either my oldest son will help dry the dishes where we can talk, or Grant will come in and we will work together to get the job done. Just makes it a fun, relaxing way to have a conversation together and hang out. We usually are joking with each other. And I'm showing you putting on my gloves here. So this is something that I've been pretty strict about lately, which is wearing the gloves, because I noticed that my fingernails were drying out and cracking and breaking. And then I looked it up and it said it's because of water. They can dry out if you do a lot of dishes. So I've been really strict with wearing the gloves and putting lots of lotion on my fingers and fingernails, and it's really helped. So you can see Grant and I are joking here, and I just think it's fun to hang out in the evening and have a very laid back experience where we can be laughing, working together, and joking. One thing that I have recently implemented is reading in the evenings with my children. So my two older boys are in elementary school, and I'm trying to get them to read more and help them read with their AR goal. I don't know if you have AR where you live, but they have to have a certain amount of points. And we're just trying to improve their reading overall. It's kind of fun that we can sit together because they're at the ages where both of them can read around the same level. And that's really fun. We can enjoy reading together. So usually I will read a few paragraphs and then the next child will read maybe a page or two, and then we'll take turns and go back and forth. This While it sounds fun, but there's a lot of, fighting going on as well, to be very realistic about it. We have actually read 3 of the Little House on the Prairie series books, and I'm just so happy that we are getting through it. We are making this happen, and we've been doing this every night for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes before they go to bed. So it's just a really fun way to wind down the evening. At this point, it's around 8 p.m. That's when my kids go to bed. I usually make myself a cup of tea and I sit on the couch with Grant for a little while, watch whatever he's watching, and then I head into my room where I will read a book. I have been so into reading lately. I read series of usually romance novels, and it's honestly just a great way to escape into another dimension. I read book after book, and it's just very enjoyable. If you have any book suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!